Don't Fear the Vegan is Salem's television resource for vegan lifestyle information and is intended for the vegan curious and the vegan connoisseur alike. The following telecast contains scenes of extreme deliciousness that may be inappropriate for hungry viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi, welcome to this edition of Don't Fear the Vegan. Today we're going to be talking about alternatives to dairy cheese. We have special guest Imber from Vtopian Cheeses. That's going to make a special mac and cheese dish for us. And Anzia is back with another rant. Now let's get this cheese and wine party started. Today we're here with Imber Lingard from Vtopian Artisan Cheeses out of Eugene, Oregon. And she's come to help us make a special recipe for you. Before we get started with the recipe though, I'd like to ask her a few questions about her company. Hi Imber, thanks for making the drive to Salem today.
Thanks for having me today. It's really good to see you all.
Good seeing you too. So let's go back. When did you start Vtopian Artisan Cheeses?
We started the business in December 2013.
Okay.
In Eugene.
And what made you decide to do cheese?
Locally, there weren't very many vegan cheeses available, and I really wanted to have a cheese plate. I was having a potluck, and I invited some friends around, and so I made like all these different cheeses. Like I made like 5 different platters of cheese.
Oh wow!
And the owner of Cornbread was there, and which is where I worked as a server at Cornbread Cafe, a vegan cafe. And she really liked the cheeses, and she wanted me to make them for the cafe. So I did, and then the customers really liked the cheeses and wanted me to sell them. So then that's where it all began.
Oh, that's really cool. So which cheese did you start out with for the cafe?
We did like a peppercorn brie, and we did like a boursin, and
cool.
we did like all different types, and fetas and stuff, yeah.
Nice. I tried making vegan cheese once. It was a 2-day process, and they all went in the trash.
Oh.
Haven't tried since.
Oh, no.
So I'm very envious that you were able to do it. 'Cause it tastes amazing.
Oh, it's very sweet.
So what are the bases of your cheeses?
Yeah, like all our cheeses have different bases. Most of them are cashew based, but we're going to start doing some almond based cheeses as well.
Okay, cool. So how many varieties do you have?
Right now we've got like 18 different varieties.
Wow.
And we're working on more, and we should be doing like some almond cheeses soon too.
Cool. Is there a place that people can go online to see your variety?
On our website, which is vtopiancheeses.com, VTOPIAN cheeses.com. You can find more about us. We've got all the different types of cheeses up there.
Oh, cool.
And also where you can find them.
So what recipe are you going to make for us today?
Today we're going to make a creamy mac and cheese, and we're going to use 2 of our cheeses, the aged white cheddar and the reserve sharp cheddar.
Okay, cool. What are the differences between the cheddars?
So the differences are, there's quite a few differences, but the main differences are like the aged white cheddar is soy free, and it's got more of a garlicky sort of undertone. And the reserve sharp cheddar is a mix of like of cashews and a little bit of soy yogurt and a bit of sauerkraut. And it's got this real sharp undertone.
Okay, so by looking at them, they look a little softer than what most people would consider a cheddar cheese. Are all of your cheeses a softer cheese?
Yeah, like we don't have anything that is really hard.
Okay.
But we'll be coming out with some in the future.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for answering all those questions. Now we're going to get everything prepped so we can start making this wonderful dish.
All right, so we'll get started. We've got the ground cashews here. You want to make sure that they're dry cashews, they're not soaked. And you can grind them up in a food processor or a coffee grinder. So pop that in.
Are they raw or roasted?
Raw.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, raw is great. And then we'll put in the rest. So we've got the salt here.
We're using Himalayan salt because that's all I had. I like it better.
I love that stuff. And we've got some pepper we'll put in, and then we've got some paprika, and then we'll put in the tofu that's been cubed up. You want to throw it on in. We'll get it in there. And then we've also got the miso. You can use like a light miso or like a chickpea miso. Anything that's kind of light looking. Like if it's too dark, it'll affect the taste. We'll put that in.
Cool.
And then we've got the nutritional yeast that goes in. Got the lemon juice. And then we've got the olive oil.
Awesome.
And then we have the vegan milk, and we're going to use like rice milk today.
It is rice milk, yeah.
Yeah, I like it because it's not too creamy. I feel like the ingredients are really creamy enough. So
I don't know if I've ever used rice milk cooking, so I'm kind of excited about this.
yeah,
Usually use almond or soy.
All right, yeah, rice milk's good.
All right.
All right,
That's
so,
it?
Yeah, that's it. We'll give it a blast.
There you go.
Cool.
How long do you leave it on for?
Just till it's nice and creamy and everything's blended in. All right, that looks ready.
Awesome.
Yeah. Cool. So the next stage is we'll chop up like half of the aged white cheddar into little chunks, and then we'll put the aged white cheddar, we'll put the garlic that's remaining, and the sauce in a saucepan, and we'll heat it up.
Okay, perfect. So we'll get that stuff and we'll be right back.
All right, so next step is we're going to heat up the sauce that we just made, and we're going to put in the aged white cheddar and the garlic.
It's interesting that you use ground cashews because I've never done that. I've only done them where I've soaked them and then made a cream out of them.
Right.
So I'm curious to see how this comes out.
Yeah, cashews are so versatile. You can prepare them in different ways.
When you do them for your cheese, do you make them ground like that or do you soak them first?
Yeah, it depends on the cheese.
Okay.
But for the majority, like of the cultured cheeses, we soak them.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I think that's it. Just put that over there. So we've got that in there. And then we're going to put in the aged white cheddar. And then I'm just going to grab that. Oh, you want to put the garlic in?
Sure.
Right. And then we're just going to stir it up. And stir it up till like it's a little bit thicker.
I find it really interesting about the ground cashews because when you heat regular cashew cream, you risk that chance of it getting too hot and separating. You don't have that problem here.
No,
That's
yeah,
cool.
it works out great. Yeah.
I was expecting it to be a lot grittier, but it's not.
Yeah, right, yeah. Yeah, I think also grinding them up is good, you know, if you're using a recipe and you don't want something too wet.
Right.
You know, like it really helps using something like that. It's more
No,
of a
it's perfect
powder.
because a lot of times when you make the mac and cheese, it becomes too wet and it doesn't really stick to anything.
Right, yeah. All right, so I guess we're at the stage now where we could put some pasta in.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
That's a little hard.
It'll be fine.
Okay, cool. Won't worry about it. All right.
And like one thing also with this sauce, like it's pretty thick. And if you want to thin it out a bit, you could always add in like a bit more olive oil, you know. That works out well. Or sometimes I might add in like a bit of lemon juice too, like a bit of extra lemon juice to thin it out a little. Working it through. And then after this has heated through, it's nearly all heated through, we'll grate some of the reserve sharp cheddar on top.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Do you want to use the basil? I'll chop some of that up. If you do.
That'll be pretty. And around about this time, I put in a little bit of hot sauce, just to your taste. So I just put a little bit in. I like a bit of hot sauce. Alright, so now we'll grate the cheese.
Oh, yeah, let me get the cheese. So the cheese isn't as soft as I thought it was. We're actually going to be able to grate it.
Yeah. So we found like the longer like we age the cheese, the harder it gets. We know like a few people who have aged our cheeses like for 3 months, and the longer they have them, the harder it gets. So we put that on top, get it in there, put a bit of pepper on top to finish it off, just to your taste. I don't know if I do that right.
Did you say that this one has the soy in it that you just
Yeah,
grated?
this one does, yeah.
You can't taste it at all.
All right, oh cool.
Yeah, no, it doesn't taste like a soy-based cheese at all.
Oh cool, yeah, we use like a soy yogurt.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, like we've got like a few things sort of culturing in the wedges. We've got like the cultured soy yogurt, and we've also got the miso, and then we've also got the live sauerkraut.
Oh,
so,
wow.
yeah, so it gives like a different taste.
Do you make your own yogurt as well?
No, we don't. One day.
Cool.
Cool. And that's it.
Awesome. Okay. It looks delicious. I can't wait to try it. So we'll be back in a minute, and we're going to try some of this creamy mac made out of Vtopian Artisan Cheeses. All right, so here we are. We added a little bit of basil to the top and more of that grated cheese. Let's give it a try. It smells delicious. Once again, I wish I had smell-o-vision. It's really creamy. I wasn't expecting that with the ground cashews. It's so good. Thank you so much.
I'm glad you like it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks for having me.
You have to try this out on your own. And remember to check out vtopiancheeses.com to get more information on this amazing cheese line. And thanks again for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Sorry, but we're going to eat now. Have a good night.
Viewers will have noticed Stephanie enjoying a glass of wine during this episode of Don't Fear the Vegan. Can you guess what it was? Was it a Merlot, a Syrah, a Pinot, or a Cabernet? Stay tuned for the answer later in this broadcast.
People often tell me, well, tell my parents anyway, that they want to go vegan. That they actually want to go vegan. But they can't because they love cheese too much. The cheese has too strong of a hold on them. Sometimes that hold is so strong they wear giant blocks of cheese on their head. It's a pretty common story. According to the California Milk Advisory Board, California is the second largest cheese producing state in the country, producing 2.4 billion, yes, that's an alien with a B, pounds of cheese in 2014. The commies at the Guardian report that 3,200 liters of water are required to make 1 kilo of cheese. In plain American, it takes 381 gallons of water to make 1 pound of cheese. That's a lot of freaking water. Well, California is experiencing one of the worst droughts in modern history. This is the same California where you cannot water the lawn, you cannot wash the car, you cannot hose down the pig, and at restaurants, they cannot give you a glass of water unless if you ask. But you can clog your arteries with as many blocks of cheese as you like. Now, why would a person do that? Why would a normally rational person ignore the environmental and personal consequences of eating concentrated boob juice of a cow? Because they're dopers, junkies, hopheads, freaks, addicts, craving that next hit of sweet, sweet California white cow poppies. You see, mother's milk contains a protein called casein. In cheese, casein levels are concentrated. Casein performs an interesting trick when it hits your stomach. When a person digests casein, it turns into a peptide called casomorphine. You might notice it sounds a lot like morphine. It should, because it's an opioid, meaning chemically it looks and acts a lot like morphine, giving the person a feeling of euphoria. Not only does milk cause a warm, fuzzy feeling, but also it prevents diarrhea, that are both great things for a nursing mother to provide for her baby. But for a grown human, there's other ways to get high and constipated than milk meant for baby cows. Seriously, what are baby cows drinking when humans are getting stoned on their milk? Think about it. Generally speaking, we do not give toddlers cigarettes, booze, or coffee, but we think nothing of getting them loaded on dairy crack. You might think the term dairy crack is a little strong, but those aren't my words. They're the words of Dr. Neil Bernard, the head of the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicines. Even doctors don't see the difference between this and this. Just say no to drugs.
Thank you, Yanzia, for dropping the science. And before we go, I'd like to say another thank you to Imber for making that amazing mac and cheese. I love the fact that you didn't have to bake it. You can find the recipe on don'tfearthevegan.com. All this talk of cheese today got me craving a cheese platter. Yes, vegans can do cheese platters too. I found all of these in Salem. I found Miyoko's Creamery smoked farmhouse cheese made by Miyoko Schinner of Vegan Mashup, and Vtopian peppercorn brie by our guest Imber, and Dea's jalapeno Havarti. I also made my mom's pimento cheese, which is a vegan spread, and the recipe can be found on my blog, Don't Fear the Vegan. And that's it for this episode of Don't Fear the Vegan. Thanks for watching. Cheers.
Thank you for staying tuned for the answer to this edition of What is Steffi Drinking? If you had answered C, Pinot, you would be correct. Thank you for playing.
Yeah.